Welcome back into the workshop, and today, during this nice Thanksgiving, we've got something festive for the season. So as you know, Mattel has released around 3 to 4 Pyroraptors in the past, and all of them have very short feathers on their arms, and multiple people have fixed this problem by either kit bashing, sculpting their own feathers, or even printing out their own feathers. And today, I want to do this type of custom, but with a tiny spin on it. So let's begin by examining what we're starting off with. So here we have the Pyroraptor that's a part of the Extreme Damage line. This figure has a pretty nice sculpt and decent paint apps, but I think it can be turned into something really special. So going back to the feather fixing thing, I will be using the kit bashing method. I went to my Hobby Lobby where I get most of my paint from, and found this little eagle figure that would work perfectly for what I'm doing. So the first thing I did was cut the wings off the eagle and superglued them onto the raptor. Then I sculpted them into the figure just to make sure they would stay put. So a day later, the epoxy had fully settled in, and it was time to sling some paint onto the figure. The first thing, as always, is to get that base coat of black in. After the black dried, I then coated the figure in a flesh color, so that's the base color of the skin for the Pyroraptor. So now it's time to work on the feathers. The first color to go down is a light orange. After that, I hit it with a slightly more blood orange dry brush. It was then time to work on the smaller details. So the first thing I started on was the face, giving the eyebrows this dark brown dry brush. After that, I started to give select parts of the feather tips a light brown dry brush as well. Stepping away from that for a little bit, I worked on this very small but important detail, the black and orange stripe on the neck. So once that was finished, I went back to the feather tips. Now applying the same light brown color to the wing tips. I then added a much darker brown shade to the wings as a sort of gradient, you could say. So now we're going to move away from the feather tips for a second to work on another minor but important detail. These two stripes that run down the raptor's back. So using a slightly matted black, I applied a couple coats and that was done and over with. Another small detail was adding an orange dry brush to the eyebrows, and giving the belly a white dry brush. So after laying out the brown on the feather tips, getting the mouth and claws done, and doing any other minor details, it was time for the cherry on top, adding in these light blue spots on the tips of the feathers. While the process was tedious, yes, it also just adds this pop to the figure. So after painting the eyes and adding a coat of Mod Podge, we were finished. So here we have the legend herself, the Pyroturkey. With her very large feathers and in the front, she can display them forward to give off an intimidation display, and they even give her the ability to glide short distances. With the bright orange and blue colors, you can't mistake her for any other Pyroraptor. So I hope you've enjoyed my festive custom for Thanksgiving 2022. I've got one more very big and very special custom coming in a couple days. So strap in, as on November 30th, we'll be going over the process on how I modified the biggest carnivore the world has ever seen.
Giganotosaurus. Biggest carnivore the world has ever seen.
However, for now, let's focus on what we've got in front of us. In overall time, this took me about 6 to 8 days to complete, and I'm pleased with how the final product came out. I don't see a lot of Thanksgiving customs out there, so I figured I should do my part and contribute. But for now, I'm going to go spend time with my family, and I hope you will too. So with that, I'm Sizemic. Subscribe if you're interested. Be thankful for what you have. Ham is better than turkey, and I'll see you all on the flip side. Happy Thanksgiving!